Hi everyone, thanks for being here today. I had a wonderful interview with my friend Jackie Long. This conversation was so interesting about different healing modalities, the healing journey, heart opening. I would like to invite you to join the Soul Synergy membership. By joining the plan Inner Being, you access a rich library of hypnosis audios, prayers, and meditations. By using the code HEART, you pay only $17 for the next 6 months. Join today the 21-day prayer challenge to open the heart. This has been a very profound practice in my life. In this episode, I shared my experience while doing the 21-day prayer challenge to open the heart. There are miracles in my life, and I would like to share with you today. Visit my website, lucami.com/soulsynergy membership and join today. And please don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. Visit my website, lucami.com, and receive updates, notifications, and more information about my work. Today, I have a very special guest. She is a friend of mine, Jackie Long. Welcome to the podcast. Jack.
Hi.
So, Jackie Long is a certified hypnotherapist, founder of Jackie Long Hypnosis, and a passionate advocate for holistic healing with over 15 years of experience in psychology and behavior therapy. Jackie empowers clients worldwide to break through the barriers of trauma, anxiety, health challenges, chronic pain, and emotional blocks. Through her unique blend of hypnosis, mindset coaching, and energy medicine techniques, Jackie helps individuals not only heal but truly thrive, unlocking their full potential for lasting transformation and well being. Yes, I know that this is true because I have done some sessions with you. And yes, I really value you as a friend and as a professional as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Lou. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm happy to be here on your amazing podcast because I know you do awesome work as well. So I'm glad we can have this conversation.
Yes. Tell us a little more about how you why did you choose working with people through hypnosis, and tell me a little more about what other modalities or techniques you have been working with.
Sure. So I've always been interested in people's minds and how they work and why they do things the way they do them. And so, that's what led me into studying psychology in college. And then I got my master's in school psychology and ultimately worked with, kids, teens, parents in school settings and hospital settings and working with people on their mental health and emotional struggles and things like that. Um, but I always was really interested in the holistic side. And, I found psychology and counseling to be helpful to a degree, but I always felt like there was more that could be done. And, talking about a problem is good, but it doesn't always resolve the issue. So, like, what more can we do? And that's what really got me into looking into hypnotherapy and what that had to offer. And so I wanted to go study for a long time. And then I did, and that's how we met in school, which was so fun. But,
Yes.
as you know, using hypnosis to help people resolve different issues they're going through or to even just connect more with their true selves is really, really powerful because we're working with a different part of the mind. In talk therapy, we're just working consciously. We're maybe giving tools and solving problems that way, which again is wonderful. Um, but then there's things that you want to go deeper on to really resolve. And that's where working on the subconscious mind is really, really helpful. And so, in addition to hypnosis, I use a technique also called emotion code with my clients, developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He has a book on it that explains the whole process. But this is a form of energy work or energy healing that I like to use with my clients in addition to hypnosis. And I find it really, really powerful. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes, I have done a few sessions with you, and you use this modality, emotion code, and I really felt immediate shifts. I would like to understand a little more about why it is so powerful and why this technique, how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've loved our sessions together, and I'm really passionate about this modality, the emotion code, because it really works for me as well. So for me personally, if something doesn't work for me, I can't get behind it. So I know different modalities work for different people, but I have found the emotion code really helpful. I've been receiving sessions for several years from different practitioners, and it really helps me in my life. I notice immediate shifts as well as shifts over time, just like you've mentioned, and it's just really powerful. So basically, the premise is, everything is energy. We are energetic beings, and emotions are also energy. And so throughout our lives, obviously, different things happen and occur, experiences, interactions with other people, some good, some don't feel so good. And different emotions can basically get trapped within the body or within your aura, in your field, and kind of just stay there resonating, vibrating at a low frequency. Like, let's take anxiety, for example. Maybe you were 7, a teacher yelled at you, it made you feel bad about yourself or made you feel anxious. And maybe in that moment, because you were young or you didn't have the mental resources or it was just really shocking or whatever happened, you didn't have the full capacity to really process out that emotion. Therefore, it got lodged somewhere within you. And then it just kind of stays there resonating at this low frequency, bringing a low level of anxiety into everything you do throughout the rest of your life. And what's cool about the emotion code, it really gets to the root of the things that you can't figure out, right? You're going through life and you're like, why do I feel this way? Or I feel like I've worked on this area a million times. Like you feel like there's just something invisible continuing to get in your way, block you from getting the things you want or feeling the way you want to feel. And that's where I find this modality really uncovers these like hidden energetic blocks. And I know, like with you and I working even on your sessions, and with many people, there are even emotions that can be passed down from our ancestors, from our parents, and really even way far back down the ancestral line. And these are things that, how would you ever figure that out? Just talking or consciously, or even some other subconscious modalities, you really would not be able to go and find those different blocks. And so that's where I find this to just be really, really powerful.
It is fascinating. I am so impressed. And how the subconscious mind holds so much information about us that we just, go through life without even being aware that we are holding all these emotions and beliefs and energies, and we are expressing that in the word unconsciously through our words, our behaviors. And then when we get stuck, we don't know what led us to that specific result. How this technique has helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to go back quickly to your point on the
Mhm.
subconscious mind, like you're absolutely right. That's where everything is recorded. Every single
Right.
thing that's ever happened in your life is recorded in the subconscious mind, whether you remember it or not. And modalities like hypnosis, like the emotion code, and many others in that arena really help you to become aware, either aware of it, fix it, change it, move past it, resolve it, so you can, live the life you want to live. Um, yeah, and so the emotion code has helped me in many ways. I've been on my own health journey for several years, struggling with different autoimmune issues, things doctors couldn't figure out, endometriosis, stage 4, fertility issues, all sorts of things that have not only affected me physically, but mentally and emotionally as well over the years. I can say now I'm healthy, I'm in a wonderful place, thank goodness. But the emotion code is something that really helped pull me out of that because, all pieces are important, obviously. I went to doctors, I sought out medical help, counseling, all different variety of ways to help yourself. But I will say, when the physical interventions and medicine fails you and doctors literally have no answers for you and you're just told, yep, there's nothing we can do, this is going to be your life. Well, that was unacceptable to me. I'm not going to just live my life a shell of a person, not able to do the things I used to be able to do. And so I absolutely sought out a variety of other ways that I could figure out what was going on and help myself. And I've worked with two amazing, amazing practitioners. I still work with them. Um, and through this method, tapping into my subconscious mind to ask it questions about what it needed, what is actually going on with me physically or mentally or emotionally, and how can we correct these issues, led me to where I am today, being healthy, being happy, feeling strong, active again, all those things.
Mhm.
Um, where, a few years ago, that was not the case. So it's really helped me in that way. And it's given me a lot of peace of mind knowing that, whenever you're going through a transition or a hard time, that this is something that can really help me get unstuck and move forward.
Yeah, it is fascinating. Um, it is so interesting that the subconscious gives answers immediately through the muscle testing, right? You ask questions and then you receive the answer. And then it is fascinating to see the many ways in which we can use the wisdom of the subconscious to help us and heal us and give answers through dream work when we are speaking with the language of the subconscious and understanding that what they can represent or how they can teach us. And in my work right now, through the cards that I've created, I spend 2 days in grassroots giving offering readings. It is just the subconscious wanting to talk about that specific theme, and it is healing as well. Tell us a bit about how have you been working with people lately? Are you applying hypnosis and emotion code, or how do you combine the techniques?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I work with clients. I do hypnotherapy and emotion code with them. But I absolutely have some clients where maybe they just want hypnosis or they just want emotion code. So it's really absolutely up to them. I love to combine them because it's super effective to use both ways. There's so many modalities out there, and I always tell people to find what the right fit is for them. There's no one size fits all. You have to find what works for you. But, finding something that works with energy and with the subconscious mind is the direction you would want to go in because, like you mentioned, with your Oracle deck, which is so beautiful, and I've had the chance to have a lovely reading with you, and it was so powerful and so helpful. And we know that the subconscious speaks in images and pictures. And so it's really amazing the artwork you've created. And then when you sit down and do a reading with someone like me, the subconscious is really, speaking. The energy is there in terms of what cards are going to get pulled and what I needed to hear that day in, the thing that I was working on. It lines up so well. It's just incredible how that happens. And it's because your subconscious just has all of your inner wisdom. And that's why I love to tell people too, you have the answers within you. And you and I both do that in our work. We know that everyone has those inner resources. And really the work is about pulling it out so in front of them so they can see it and use it to their advantage.
Oh
So,
my gosh, I love
yeah,
what you said. I love what you said. I was reading a book on the weekend.
yeah.
Okay, so The Shadow of the Shaman. Is a book that sometimes I go back, and especially the last 2 days, I was involved with a lot of Native American, like there were like shows around and artwork from Native Americans at grassroots. So I was like, okay, let me check. I have a book that I wanted to check again, and there was a section that talks about uh, life has an oracle. When we are connected to the subconscious, we use life to guide us. So the shaman, the path of the shaman, so there is a section where you are so connected to all the symbolism around you when the leaf fall from the tree or when there is a bird carrying a little snake, and you start to really tune in to what is going on in your surrounding, and everything becomes an oracle, everything becomes wisdom and guidance. And it is so interesting because I think in the modern world we are so distracted. We lose contact with this inner wisdom, or with the ability to tune in to the wisdom of the subconscious, which can speak in different languages and in different ways.
I totally agree. Like, as a society, we're so disconnected from ourselves, and that's just how it is. There's so much going on, there's so much sensory input. But really, and I'm sure you find this, I find all of my clients, they want to reconnect with that part of them that they've lost. People are feeling adrift. They don't, they want to remember who they really are. What do they really love to do? What's their purpose? Why are they here? And just to feel better day by day, because literally, if you're more tapped in with your subconscious, your life actually becomes easier. And like you said, you start to notice what's around you. You notice the signs and the symbols and the opportunities and the things that are there for you and meant for you. And when we're not connected to ourselves, we don't notice any of that. It just
No.
goes right by us. Um, and so it's really interesting to like give people the window into their own self and watch them realize how easy life can be. I mean, of course, there's hard times for everyone in life, but your day to day can become so much easier, and your ability to go through hard times can be easier than it used to be when you have that intuition and when you have that inner resilience and inner guidance that you just need to reconnect to.
Right. And, recently I had a great insight. I was working on my computer, like doing tasks. And then suddenly I had that awareness of the emotion that was driving me. And I was like so driven by stress. And then I had that pause. And I'm like, I simply don't need to work carrying this emotion. And then I took a deep breath and allow myself to just drop the emotion and just be present.
Amazing.
And I think that all this, and then it was great. It is so great to work with in understanding how our emotions influence us, while the whole point is to into the superconscious, or the true self, the intuition, the wisdom, or that center of peace within us. But sometimes it stays in the mind. We talk about these things, but we
Yeah.
don't actually know how to put in practice. And I feel that these modalities, these mind body practices, they really help us to embody this knowledge, to understand more physically, even.
Absolutely. I feel like, and like that's why with the emotion code, we're moving these emotions through and out of the body. They don't need to stay with us. They're never meant to stay with us. Emotions are things we're meant to experience and feel and then move. They're meant to move through us, pass through us, and we're on to the next thing. But when they get stuck, that's where they cause problems. And just like that was a great example you gave, maybe you were holding on to something and it wasn't helping you in your work in the moment. But just having that awareness and being able to let go of it is huge. And when we're able to release kind of all of these emotions that are stacking up in within us throughout our life, think about how much clearer you're going to feel, how much baggage you're letting go of. It's really incredible. And I mean, I know for me, when I receive sessions, I feel a lot lighter, a lot clearer, just able to move forward with ease, right? It's not even something I'm putting a lot of willpower into.
Right.
Just suddenly the path has opened up and it feels very easy, like the boulder has moved out of the way. And that's a wonderful feeling.
And so, would you consider that emotion code is energy healing, or is a
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
definitely
energy?
an energy healing, energy work type of
Mm-hmm.
modality. You know, he talks a lot about emotions in his book and the process, and I know he has other processes as well, the body code and the belief code, which are the next levels um, of ways of finding out what's happening within the subconscious and the body and how to really move forward and repair.
It is. I am so excited about this technique, and thank you so much for introducing this technique because I really love it and enjoy it. What is next for you in your work life? How are you moving forward? Do you have anything coming up soon?
I'm really excited because I've been, using the emotion code with my clients. I do plan on continuing to study the other modalities, the body code and the belief code, and get certified in those as well. And just really incorporate this into my hypnosis practice because I find it super, super effective. And the clients I've been using it with already are really enjoying the results. I think it helps basically boost the hypnotherapy and makes things happen even faster because while we're also doing the awareness of hypnotherapy and moving things out of the way and inputting all the positive on the energetic level with the emotion code, we are just blasting away all this residue, this emotional garbage that we no longer need to hold on to. And it's just helping people absorb the goodness of all the positive suggestions we give in hypnotherapy even faster. So things can happen faster for them, easier for them. And so that's always exciting to see.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so interesting. Like when you were, we did like 2 sessions and experienced like big shifts in energy in how I was feeling. I felt that I was holding onto some blockages and I start reading about the technique and I read a little bit about like the walls around the heart, like that this technique really helps you release this energy blocks that are around your heart. And I actually have a prayer in the Oracle, which is the heart opening prayer. So I recorded that, started to do the prayer challenge, and I've been listening to the prayer to open the heart. And I think combine those things, I notice a lot of miracles. I have a brother who I haven't talked to him and we were not in a good relationship. And then naturally we became friends. Naturally he's open up, he's opening his heart, he's talking, he's guiding me. And I feel that the beauty of the work we do, this healing work that we do, is to allow things to sometimes for example, I was seeking some specific, I'm like, I need to resolve this situation in my life, right? And then sometimes you go to a session with a specific goal, which is good as well. And sometimes we do need to work on specific goals and get that going. But the healing journey is so fascinating because sometimes what actually needs to break or dissolve is something old. It's something that you don't want to touch. And
Definitely.
right? And this healing journey it's very unpredictable, can be very unpredictable because you don't know actually what your blocks are, but the journey itself will show you what is there and you don't want to touch it.
Absolutely. I feel like many times, and I even from my own personal experience, you kind of know some of your own stuff, right? You know,
Right.
hey, this is my pattern, or if you're self-aware, you might know even more. Okay, this is the things I do, this is how I cope, this is how I react in these situations. And it's funny though, because when you go with the emotion code or even hypnotherapy, you go deeper, there are things blocking you that even the most self-aware person, I know for me, I'm super self-aware, I'm hyper self-aware because I'm so into studying all of this stuff. But there were things I wasn't even aware of that have come up for me, and it's really amazing. But I will say this too, I mean, the healing journey isn't like, overnight fix, magic. You have to do some work on yourself for sure and be open to the process. But the cool thing is, with the emotion code and even with hypnosis, depending on your practitioner and the type of hypnosis you're doing, I always tell my clients what's great is you don't have to go back and relive traumatic memories and figure out every little thing. And that would just be so exhausting and so draining. The great thing is the subconscious can just lead us to exactly what it wants to show you that day. And let's remove it. Let's let it go. And like you were saying, this isn't about forcing your goals to happen and making things happen. It's about, like I said, moving the boulder or moving the stuff out of the way that's blocking you, and then allowing things to occur in their natural timing, which feels really nice because as humans, we're meant to be in the flow. We're meant to just allow our energy to be flowing. That's our natural state. So when it gets blocked up, it doesn't feel good. And that's where we run into, obviously, issues and not feeling good and all these things. But that was a great example with your brother. I've seen many people mention, that you didn't come in specifically saying, I want to work on my relationship. Like that wasn't even a thing at all. You were
Right.
working on something completely different. And it's funny how the subconscious will say, okay, let's remove these emotions. And then literally the next day, you're like, suddenly my relationship with my brother is resolved. Years
Yeah.
of us not really talking or whatever, now we are friends and this is wonderful. And you hear that all the time with this. And so I just find it so amazing.
I was in this festival, the grassroots, and there was an energy healer. We were at the healing arts tent. He's a psychologist, but retired. He was doing energy healing for 4 days on a roll from like 10 to 7 non-stop energy healing. And he was just working with his hands and being present with people non-stop. And he said to me that it energizes him, but it's so interesting to also pay attention as practitioners to understand what works for us and what is sustainable for us and what is actually what energizes us when we are working with people, right?
Absolutely. I think that's super important. And really, for anyone in any profession, you have to find what works for you. You have to find what's going to bring back your energy if you're feeling drained or burnt out. And, you and I always talk, as practitioners in working with people on their issues and in this type of work, it's important for us to take care of ourselves and any other, energy healers out there or mental health workers. You have to take care of yourself in order to be able to hold that space for someone else, to be present for them. It doesn't mean our lives are perfect all the time, but being able to create that space regardless of what's going on in your own life so that there's that healing presence and you're able to work with someone. And then knowing your limits and knowing when to take breaks and
Right.
getting our own work done on ourselves. So, like you and I have talked, we've done sessions on each other, and a lot of us do that because we need the work too.
Yes, yes. And one thing that I would like to point out is that this, what we are doing today, or what I just experienced at Grassroots, like I took sessions with many other practitioners. I gave sessions to other practitioners. This exchange between us, this like partnership is so important and refreshing and it really boosts us. And then I think it also creates a lot of abundance. Like one thing that we've been talking a lot of, I've been talking about heart opening a lot. And yeah, and I liked someone that said, we were doing a reading and someone said, yeah, I feel to me that all my abundance and prosperity and grace stems from having an open heart. It comes from the heart. And you know, it is so easy for us to get closed off and stay in our own bubble and the energy doesn't, it cannot flow, right? And I think that since we met in our certification training, our teacher always, he planted that seed for us to always be there for each other and like partner and help each other and be there together in this journey of healing. And I feel that my best time is when I am in exchange with other practitioners. I mean, we have like a big thing going on. And when I am closed off in my bubble, like my life just gets stuck, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're meant to be in community, right?
Yep.
Not meant to just be alone. And especially as entrepreneurs, right? Like we need each other. Do you need people to talk to and to work with
Yep.
and but you're absolutely right. Like we give and receive from the heart space. And, that's a lot of work I do with people too. With the emotion code is people can form, your emotions can actually literally like clump together and form a wall around our heart area, which makes
Wow.
sense, right? Because our heart, that's the space that really feels the hurt, the grief, all these things in life that happen, the heartbreak, the sadness, like disappointments. And it wants to protect itself, of course. And the subconscious mind number one goal is to help you survive. Make sure you're alive. That's all it cares about. So, even if it's driving you to do a behavior that isn't in your best interest, but your subconscious is like, well, you've been doing it this way for years, it's keeping you alive, we don't want to change anything, all I care about is your survival. Listen, it's doing its job, but it's not helping you, right? It's not always the best case scenario, and that's where it needs the retraining, the rewiring, the let's remove that heart wall, all those energetic blocks, so your heart can be open, to receiving, giving and receiving love. And it's funny because that's actually how I found, um, this emotion code work many, many years ago. I came across it. I received some sessions myself. I was going through a really hard time in my life. Pretty much every area of my life was just bottoming out. And I really wanted to find my person, find my soulmate, be in the relationship, get married, all those things. And literally, after I did 3 sessions to clear my heart wall with this practitioner, 8 months later, I met my now husband, who's amazing. And we've been married for like 6 years, and we've been together for longer than that. But it's just honestly really fascinating to see how these things coincide and how it's like, yep, open up the heart. Suddenly you're able to receive and give love in the right opportunities, the right people, everything comes your way. And we're talking abundance in all areas, right? Financial, love, opportunities, friendships, freedom, whatever it is you're looking for abundance in. So health, all the things. So it's really, really cool.
Ah, my gosh, it's shocking. It's shocking because it makes total sense because we are already light, love, peace, wholeness, but we have blockages, we have conditionings, we have emotions, and we don't need to add anything. We just need to remove it, to release it. So once you just release a little bit, things start to come. People, situations, opportunities. And but sometimes even to get there, to sit in the chair or to book the appointment, it can be hard because to get to the point where you are open to release the blockages can take years. You know, a client of mine yesterday, he said that my business card was in his wallet for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I love what you say about the walls we build around how it gets, it tries to protect us, but actually is a defense mechanism. I
Mhm.
have a client she said that she went to like 3, 4 doctors. She had a huge chest pain, and then with hypnotherapy, it went away. Emotions become physical pain.
Absolutely. And I know in our work, we hear that a lot. And of course, we always advise people to seek out medical attention.
Right, for sure.
It's great to work on both because sometimes you don't know where it's coming from. And a lot of times it's connected. Both body and mind are very, very connected. But you're absolutely right. Like people, you have to be ready for this letting go, open to it is all you really need to be, is open to it. And that can change day by day. I know I have days where I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to work on myself anymore.
Yes.
And you get tired and you need a break, and that's okay. That's part of being human. And then you have times where you're like, okay, I'm really ready to change this. I'm open to letting this go. Great, press play. That's the time to go work with somebody and let some things go. And you're absolutely right. This work is about, it's really about just becoming more of who you are.
Right.
When you let go of the baggage, you're able to just be more of your true self. This part of you that maybe you haven't seen since childhood or ever,
Right.
this new, improved version of you that's just like wanting to come out. So,
Wow, it was a lovely conversation.
um,
Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you can come back and we can have more conversations. How people can find you.
yes, thanks so much for having me, Lou. People can find me on my website, www.jackielonghypnosis.com. I offer free consultations. Happy to chat with people through whatever's going on and see if they'll be a good fit.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jackie.